Hey there, everybody. I thought I would do another game in the little 10-team league that I have, opening day. Kind of run this congruent with the 77 White Sox replay. Won't be that many videos of this because I plan to do most of this offline, but I thought I would go ahead and play all the opening day games so you could see all 10 teams get to play. And also wanted to answer some questions that I got from the first video, specifically asking me about how the 10 teams were selected and that sort of thing. Well, what I did is I went to the 10 teams that I did, or I used in the payoff pitch Pop 10, and that kind of fizzled out. And the reason that kind of fizzled out is because payoff pitch is a great game for as played, but for the what if scenario or a 10 team random and whatnot, there's just not enough randomness in payoff pitch. The injuries don't come up as much. They don't have a system for rest the way that Strat-O-Matic does, or if they do, I don't know about it and somebody can educate me on it. I think the only injuries in payoff pitch are on the rare play charts, so not like they're on the cards on Strat. And then pitchers also in Strat can be injured as well, but then you also have the rest rolls. So I think the randomness of Strat lends itself to that more so than the payoff pitch. I mean, back at the time I started the payoff pitch back in January, it was the only card set for 2018 that was out, and I wanted to play with the 2018 set and show that. So that's kind of how that got started. But like I said, after about the first 4 or 5 games for each team, I realized that there's just not enough randomness there. There's not enough injury chances, not enough system of rolling for rest and so forth. So I decided to shift that to the Strat-O-Matic game. So that's the reason why I purchased the 2018 set with the extra players, was to do this and have enough guys on the bench or in the minors to be able to call up when there's injuries and so forth. Now, that being said, the 10 teams in the Pop 10, I had those in mind, so I was like, I don't want any of those 10 teams. I want to keep those 10 teams away because I've already played with them in 2018, and I wanted to get, kind of fresh blood in there, so to speak. And I also did not want either of the World Series teams. And of course, Boston was in the Pop 10. The Dodgers were not, but Boston was. So I didn't want to use either one of those. And I also wanted to make sure each division was represented with at least one team, and then the American League would have 5 and the National League would have 5. So these are pretty much hand selected just by myself, trying to get a randomness of good teams and bad teams. And the way I'm working it is, if the American League team is at home, then you use the DH. If the National League team is at home, we don't use the DH. Whether it's inter squad or not, or interleague or not, it doesn't matter. If the American League team's at home, it's just like real baseball. If the American League team's at home, they get the DH. If an American League team visits a National League team, the pitchers are going to hit. So from my first video, you saw that Washington beat Detroit. It was kind of a blowout there toward the end. It was good for about 5 innings. But anyway, so let's look at the 10 teams that I did select. Like I said, you've already seen Washington, Detroit. I also took the Yankees and Toronto. So I got 2 teams from the American League East. I took Detroit, that was the American League Central team. And I took 2 teams from the American League West, Houston and the Angels. All right, in the National League, Washington is the lone NL East team. From the NL Central, I took Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. And then from the NL West, I took I took San Francisco and Arizona. I got to be careful. LA is the Angels, not the Dodgers. I took San Francisco and Arizona. So those are the 10 teams. And then what I did is, and for those who haven't seen it before, you can check out Tenacious Earl's video, Tenacious Strat. This is on his Tenacious Strat channel, not on his Tabletop Plus channel. But for the 10 teams, it's called I think he called it a hexagon method or something. So I'll just kind of give a real brief overview as to how that was formulated. And the first thing we do is draw 9 boxes with 1 in the middle. 8, and there is 9. These aren't exactly to scale, so apologize for that. So this is team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it can be either, it can be any order you want. But the the gist of it is the team in the middle is not going to move. The teams up top are all going to rotate, and that's going to give you a different scheduling. So in this case, in round one, I'll bring the pencil out. In round one, team one's going to go up 12 o'clock and play this team, and then teams across from each other will play. So you got this team going here, that team playing that team playing that team, and that team playing that team. And in my instance, so then you have 1 versus 2. So in week 1, you have 1 versus 2, and then you have 10 versus 3. You have 9 versus 4. Oops. You're going to have 8 versus 5. And then you're going to have 7 versus 6. And again, I learned this from Earl. He was really good about sharing that in one of his videos, and I really liked the way it worked out. So greatest form of flattery is imitation. So there you go. All right, now for week 2, all we're going to do is simply move everybody 1 notch to the right, but not the middle team. So team 2 now is over here. Team 3 moves here. Team 4 moves here. 5 moves here. 6 moves here. 7 there. 8 there. 9 there. And 10 there. So now in week 2 you got 1 versus 10. You have 9 versus 2. You have 8 versus 3. You have 7 versus 4. And you have 6 versus 5. So I think you get a gist there, just in these first 2 sets, how that works. And like I said, you just keep going until you get through all 9 weeks, where team 1 is going to eventually play team number 3. That'll be the last team they play, because they've started with 2 and they're working their way around this way as those teams rotate around. Now, the only thing I didn't know how Earl did it, so I kind of had to do it on my own, was figure out who the home teams were going to be and the road teams are going to be. So what I did when I did my scheduling is I just tried to make sure nobody had more than 3 straight road series. Washington, here you see Washington's going to start out with 3 straight road series, but then they come home for 2. Actually, they come home for a 3-game home series. So that'll be 9 games on the road, 9 games at home, then they're back on the road, then they're back at home, then they're back at home again. So there's the 9 there. So what you do there is after the 9, you simply repeat it. 10 through 18 is a repeat of 1 through 9 with the home teams flip-flopped. So that's kind of the way that worked, and that's the reason why I picked the teams that I did. All right, so hopefully that is sufficient in answering the question that was asked about it. So in this game, of course, you saw the envelopes earlier. It's going to be the Brewers taking on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I don't know if they still call them of Anaheim. I think they just call them Los Angeles Angels now. And so we will be using the DH because we're in American League Park. And what I decided to do is use my the Bob Carpenter score sheet, and the reason why I wanted to use that is because not only will it give me the lineups here, but it will give me who's on the bench for the Brewers and who's in the bullpen for the Angels. So you can kind of see who I have available to choose from out of my 25-man rosters that I made. And then also when the Brewers are at bat, I've got the defensive ratings for the Angels right here. And flipping it over, when the Angels are at bat, I got the Brewers defensive ratings here. I've got the Angels bench, and I've got the Brewers bullpen. So hopefully, let me move some of this stuff out of here so it's not so distracting. Got too many score sheets over there. There's a History Maker score sheet, so let me cover that up and get this back to where it needs to be. Okay, so we are set to go. And as you can see for the Brewers, we have Jonathan Villar at second, Ryan Braun in left, Christian Yelich at right, Lorenzo Cain in center, Jesus Aguilar at first, Domingo Santana's the DH, Hernan Perez is at third, Manny Piña's catching, and Orlando Arcia the shortstop. And on the mound will be Chacín, Julius Chacín. 15-8, he had 35 starts, so I'm counting him as the #1 starter. For the Angels, their starting pitcher will be Andrew Haney, a lefty. He had 30 starts. He was 9-10 with a 4.15 ERA. And for the Angels lineup, we'll just use the cards for that. Ian Kinsler is going to lead off at second. Batting second at short is Andrelton Simmons. Hitting third is Mike Trout in center. Batting cleanup is the first baseman, Albert Pujols. Hitting 5th is right fielder Cole Calhoun. Hitting 6th in left field is Justin Upton. Batting 7th at DH is Shohei Ohtani. Batting 8th and catching is Martin Maldonado. And batting 9th and playing third base is Zach Cozart. All right, so some notables are on the bench for the Brewers in this game because they're left-handed. Travis Shaw and Eric Thames. They didn't do so well against lefties, so in this first game at least, with the lefty on the mound, I'm going to have them on the bench, which means they are available for pinch hitting duties should the Angels go to the right-handers in the bullpen. And Angels have 7 right-handers in the bullpen, only 1 lefty. So here we go. We are ready now. Jonathan Villar stepping in the box to face Andrew Haney. And we are all set here for the second of the first day games in this. I don't even know what I don't know what to call it yet. I'm not going to call it Tenacious because that's Tenacious Earl's deal. So I'll think of some acronym or some kind of fancy 10 word to call it, I guess. All right, there's VR 1-9. That's a strikeout. So VR down on strikes to start the ball game. Here's Ryan Braun. And this is advanced only, of course, in case you missed the first one. Not super advanced, just advanced. 5-11. Braun is a righty, so Haney, 5-11, is a single. There's no ballpark checks because we're only in advanced. We're not super advanced. So that's a solid single for Ryan Braun off of the Haney card. So Braun is on. He stole 11 bases, but you got Yelich and Kane coming up, so you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. So here's Yelich, 2-8 for Yelich, and he's going to walk. I'm sorry, against a lefty, 2-8. He's going to fly to left. I remember against Haney to be in the blue here. Against a righty, he would have walked, but against a lefty, he flies to left. And there's 2 down. So Yelich is out of there, and here's Lorenzo Cain. 1-6 against a lefty is a single, 2 stars. So that's going to move Braun to third. Put runners on the corners with 2 outs. Now, Cain is a threat to steal. He could steal but there's already 2 outs, and you hate to get him thrown out. But let's see here. An A stealer starts as a 15. The catcher hold rating for Maldonado, though, is a -4, plus your -2 for being held. So all of a sudden you drop to a 9. So Cain's not going anywhere. So here's Aguilar. 5-6. Ground ball to short. It's going to end the inning. So Martin Maldonado being at -4 really put the kibosh on that. So for the Brewers, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the first. And we are at no score. All right. That will take us to the bottom of the first. And Chacin on the mound will be facing Ian Kinsler to lead off for the Angels. 1-9 against a right-hander, and that's a good result. 1-11 is a homer, 12-20 is a double. So it could get a home run to start the ball game off. Nope, it's 20, so he's going to have to settle for a double for Ian Kinsler. Leadoff double brings up Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop. Oops, too far here. Another thing I like about this little setup is I can make the lineups how I choose. I'm not bound by what they did in real life. If I want to hit Simmons second, I'll hit Simmons second. I know in real life he probably hit further down, but I like him as a number 2 hitter myself. 2-7 against Chacin, and he's going to fly to center. There's one away. That's going to bring out Mike Trout. 1-7 as a walk. A lot of home runs in that column 1, but this one was a walk, and that's actually going to set up a force play for Cole Calhoun. And I'm sorry, for Albert Pujols. And Pujols has a lot of ground ball A's on his card, so the threat there is the possible double play. But we're off Chacin, 5-11. That's still a ground ball first base X. First baseman Aguilar is a 4. So probably not a double play, but you never know. Well, it's a 20, it probably is a double play. 4 and a 20 actually is a ground ball C. So the runners are going to advance because of the poor fielding first baseman. Ground ball C when you get that, even with a 20. So anybody else, if he was a 3, 1, 2, or 3, that would have been a double play. But since he's a 4, it's a runner's advance, ground ball C. So now there's 2 on, 2 outs for Cole Calhoun. There's a 2-11, and Calhoun's going to fly to right to end the inning, so it ended up not costing him. So it's a hit, no runs and a hit, no errors and 2 left at the end of 1 complete. We are scoreless here in Anaheim. So we go to the, I probably need to not clip this because it's too much trouble to move it. So I think going forward, I'm not going to clip it. I'm just going to rest it up here. Sorry about that. Okay, so Domingo Santana, DH, is going to lead off for the Brew Crew. Strictly a move because they're facing a lefty. And if you look at his column 1 here, he's loaded against the lefty. So if we get a 1 here in the white die, he's in trouble. And look at that 1-5 right on cue. 1-4 is a single though, so he didn't hit the best result. And that is a 6, so that's going to be a ground ball to third. Handled over there by Cozart. 1 away. And now that will bring up Hernan Perez, playing at third base in place of Travis Shaw because of the lefty on the mound. 1-7, and there's a 1-6 triple. 7-20, he will fly to right. I'm sorry, fly to left. And that's what he does. He flies to left, handled by Upton. 2 down. Brings up Manny Pena, the catcher. 6-8 against Pena, and that's a 1-2 triple. Anything else will be a single. So Manny Pena is going to reach with a 2-out single. Brings up Orlando Arcia, and Pena's an E stealer, so he's not going to be held. Only hold D and above. So here's Arcia. 4-8. 4-8 is a 1-6 single. 7-20, he lines it to Cozart. That's a single, but it's only 1 star. So, but back-to-back hits here with 2 outs in the second. Puts 2 on, and we flip the order over now back to the leadoff man, VR. 2 on, 2 out. 5-4. 5-4 is a fly ball center field X. That is Trout. He's a 1, so we know he's going to catch it. Well, you still have to roll it because it could go to an error check. 1-7, so let's check the center fielder. A 1 and a 7, and he does make the catch, fly ball C. So that's going to end the inning as Haney pitches out of that little mini jam there. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless. And Chassin will be facing Justin Upton to get things started. Followed by Otani and Maldonado. So Justin Upton. 5-7. 5-7. Ground ball second base X. That is VR. He's a 3. 3 and a 17, and that's a good play. Ground ball C, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's on, so it's just a simple ground ball to second. And whoops, sticking together on me. And here's Otani. You notice he does not have a position. He's DH only, except when he's pitching. So here's Otani. Loaded column 3. And he found it, 312, although that's a line out second base max, but he did find his column 3, but not the number 12 was not the one he wanted. So quickly 2 away from Martin Maldonado. 3-8. That's a 1-18 single. Anything else he'll ground to first. That's a single for Maldonado. Keeps the inning going for number 9 hitter Zach Cozart. 2-6 for Cozart. He lines to third. Snagged over there by Perez, and that's going to end the inning. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 2, we're still scoreless. Oops. Get my power cord out of here because that cord is in my way. All right, let's go back and get everything where it needs to be. The only bad part about recording on the YouTube app is there's no pause button. Once you stop the video, that's it. Video's over. So no pause button. Got to keep it going. There are times I'd like to pause, but not able to. Here's Ryan Braun. 3-7 against a lefty, and that's a ground ball to short. He just missed a homer. 3-8 would have been a homer, but 3-7, simple ground ball to Simmons, one away. Brings up Christian Yelich. 5-7, lefty on lefty. 5-7 is a single. The only hit in column 5 off of Haney, and Yelich found it. Solid single for Christian Yelich. He is an ace stealer, but once again, Maldonado's a -4, so you're looking at a 1-9 opportunity, and that's it. So Angels aren't going to be able to run very much. I'm sorry, the Brewers aren't going to be able to run very much with Maldonado back there. 1-7 for Kane. 1-4 is a single. Anything else, it's a ground ball, fielder's choice to third. That's what we get. 5-4 fielder's choice. 2 down. Kane at first for Jesus Aguilar. 1-8. Struck him out. That's going to end the inning, I think. Yep, that's the second strikeout for Haney. I thought it was the first, but it's the second. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. Bottom of the third we go. Still scoreless. Both pitchers, at least early on, doing well. Chacin taking on the top of the order, and Kinsler, who doubled his first trip. Again, Kinsler. 3-8 for Kinsler. He flies to center. And there's one away. So 1 down, and that brings up Andrelton Simmons. 6-3. 6-3 is a solid single, no ballpark effects. So the single will be a good one without any further checks. And now Simmons, he's a B stealer. But you got Trout and Pujols coming up, so you're not going to run out of the inning either. 1-8, and that's a solid single for Trout up the middle. We'll check Simmons here, but he probably will have to hold because Kane's a -4 arm. You don't want to risk it. He's already in scoring position with only 1 out. So runners at first and second now for Pujols. Again, he is a double play threat. 3-6, not this time. He's a home run threat. 1-9 is a homer. 10-20 is a double. That's a 13. It's a double, so we know that Simmons is going to score. The question is, does Trout score? He is the trail runner, so he was not being held. But there are not 2 outs, so he doesn't get that boost either. So let's take a look at Trout. His run rating for Trout is a 17, so that's pretty good. And the ball was hit to center field. So Kane's a -4, makes it a 13. So 1-13 if they want to send him. Or you can leave second and third with 1 out. 1-13, they got the odds in their favor. They're going to send him. And he made it, barely. You talk about barely. Slid in right under the tag. So 2-run double for Pujols. And the Angels lead it by the score of 2-0. Brings up Cole Calhoun. 2-10 for Calhoun. Struck him out. So probably a good thing they did send him, because now it would have been 2 outs and he'd still be on third. And here's Justin Upton. 6-9 for Upton. He strikes out. So it's a good thing they did gamble and send him, or he would have been stuck there at third the whole time. So 2 runs and 3 hits. No errors. And 1 left. So at the end of 3, it is the Angels 2. If I got right. The Angels 2 and the Brewers nothing. So Andrew Haney been given a lead to work with. And he will be in there facing the DH, Domingo Santana. Santana. 4-3 against a right-hander. And that's an in-home run check. There is no ballpark to worry about. 4-3 is an in-home run check. He does have normal power against lefties. So Domingo Santana gets one of those runs back immediately with a solo shot. And that's why he's in there playing that lefty-righty. Got the home run off of Haney. Here's Perez. 5-6. Ground ball to short. Handled by Simmons. 1 away. That will bring up Manny Pena. 3-11 for Pena against a lefty is a ground ball to second. So it's 2 down for Arcia. 4-7 against a right-hander is a walk. So a 2-out walk. And again, you're not going to run on Maldonado, most likely. Here's VR. 1-5 against a lefty, struck him out. So the inning is over. But they do get a run on the home run. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-1, favor of the Angels. Oh, just hit my stand there. I knew that was going to happen. Got too many things in front of me. That's the problem with this setup. Got too much stuff going on here. I need to really tighten that up somehow. Sorry about that, folks. Maybe if you were kind of halfway watching this, and then maybe that's something that'll shake something up to get everybody back in gear. So Chacin back on the bump, try to make up for last inning, facing Shohei Ohtani. 5-6 is a strikeout. Struck him out. He has struck out 3 in a row now. Brings up Martin Maldonado. 1-10. He's going to ground to third. 2 away. And whoops, that's going to bring up Cozart, number 9 hitter. 5-4 against Chacin. Fly ball center field. X Cane's a 1. And that's an 11. That might be an error check. Take a look here. 1 and 11 is an error check. So Cane's error rating is a E7. And that is a 7. So center field E7 and a 7. Fly ball B, good play. So Cane was able. And that ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Angels. And we go to the 5th. It's 2-1. We go to the 5th, and it's going to be leading off for the Brewers, Ryan Braun. It'll be Braun Yelich. This is where the cards got mixed up when I had that little snafu, so let me get everything where they need to be. I think I've got Braun, Yelich, and Kane, followed by Aguilar. Okay, Braun. 1 for 2 so far. 5-6. Ground ball to short. That's 1 away. Gonna bring up Christian Yelich. 1-5 against a lefty. That's a home run chance. 1-9. 10-20 will still be a double. It's a home run for Christian Yelich, and we got a tie ball game. As Haney was bitten by the gopher ball once again. This time by a lefty. But it was by the MVP of the National League, so no shame there. But we're tied at 2. Brings up Lorenzo Cain. 3-6. He's going to fly to center. That's 2 away. And that brings up Jesus Aguilar. 2-4. 2-4. It's ground ball back to Haney to end the inning. But the gopher ball does it. 1 run, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, tied at 2. And due up top of the order for the Angels, Ian Kinsler to face Chacin. Both Chacin and Haney have 6 as their point of weakness, so they're still good for 1 more inning at least, unless they really get bombed here. Here's Kinsler. 2-5 is a leadoff walk. It's not a good way to start if you're Chacin. Now he's a B stealer. Payne is a -3 though, so you're looking at a 1 through 8 to make that, and that's not going to work. So here's Simmons. Well, you know what? Kinsler is being held, so Simmons is going to hit and run. That makes him a hit and run A. So we'll go to the hit and run chart. On a hit and run A, we'll get a 6. So we'll go to the advanced hit and run chart. And he's an A with a 6, and that is a ground out, runner's advance. Ground out to second, runner's advance. So the runner will move up into scoring position. with one away for Mike Trout. 4-7, and that's a 1-3 single. 4-20, he lines to second, and he's going to line it right over to VR for out number 2. So now it's up to Pujols. Bring home the go-ahead run. 1-7, 1-4 is a single. 5-20, he lines to Perez, and that's a base hit, but it's only 1 star, so the runner will not score. But Pujols, a double and now a single, puts the runners on the corners with 2 outs for Cole Calhoun. 0 for 2 so far. 2-10, make it 0 for 3 as he strikes out. So Cole Calhoun with the whiff. And that's going to do it for the Angels here in the bottom of the 5th. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. After 5 complete, we are still tied at 2. And now both pitchers will start their point of weakness inning with inning number 6. So bullpens are going to be at the ready very shortly. As Haney back out, facing Domingo Santana. So at least he's got the bottom portion of the order, although Santana did get him deep last time. 5-3 against the righties, a fly ball right field X. That's Cole Calhoun, who's a 2. And that's a 10, which is most likely an error check. And it is. Cole Calhoun's error rating is an E5. And that's a 12. E5 and a 12 is a 2-base error on Cole Calhoun. So that 12 got him. Right, rolling that double sixes. That's going to be a 2-base error on Cole Calhoun, E9. So an error on the Angels. Leadoff runners at second. Here's Hernan Perez. 1-8 against the lefty, and that's a line out to first. He almost got a base hit, but it's a line out to Pujols. 1 away. And that will bring up Manny Pena. 1-8. Ground ball shortstop A. Runner's going to have to hold at second. So there's 2 down. Haney 1 out away from getting out of this. Facing Arcia. 2-3 for Arcia. He grounds to third. And by Cozart, and the inning's over. So he pitches around that 2-base error to begin the inning. So we get no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 2-2. And Haney's still okay. He's only given up. In fact, I don't think that error even counts against him because it wasn't his fault. But we'll see how he does. Opening day, don't want to go too far. So bullpen is loosening down there for the Angels. They do have a right-hander. And the right-hander is Cam Bedrosian. So Cam Bedrosian is loosening the Angel bullpen. He might be coming in very shortly. Right now it's Chacin facing Upton. 3-11. It's going to be a, well, he just missed being an injured chance, but this is a ground ball to short. But a 3-12 would have been an injury. Here's Shohei Ohtani. 6-7 for Ohtani against a lefty. 6-7 is a walk. So Chacin walks Ohtani. And that'll bring up Martin Maldonado. Martin Maldonado. 5-5. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Arcia. He's a 1. And that's a 17. Almost guaranteed to be a ground ball A. A 1 and a 17. And it certainly is. Ground ball A. 6-4-3. That's going to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the 7th, tied at 2 here in California. And let's see how they're going to play this. The top of the order is due up for the Brewers. Haney's going to stay in there. But Cam Bedrosian is ready when needed. 3-8 for VR. Struck him out. So VR down on strikes. That'll bring up Ryan Braun. 6-9. Oh, it's a home run chance. Haney maybe one batter too many. 1-19 will be that home run. He does have normal power. So unless this is a 20, it's his third home run allowed. And it's a 20. How do you like that? But it's still a triple. But it does keep the run off the board for now. A triple. And now Yelich is up. So with a lefty, they're going to let him pitch to Yelich, but this is his last batter. Bedrosian will be coming in to face Kane after this. The infield's going to have to come in. They want to choke that run off. So Haney to Yelich with the infield in. 4-7. Struck him out. He's not tired yet because he's only given up the one hit. So he has not reached his point of weakness completely, so that strikeout will stand. Big strikeout. Out number 2, but that's going to be it. They're going to make the call to the bullpen. As with the right-hander Kane coming up, they're not going to take a chance. They're going to go ahead and pull Haney and bring in Cam Bedrosian. And in 2018, Cam Bedrosian 5-4 with a 3.80 ERA. So Bedrosian is on, and we come over here to our little bullpen list here. Scratch off Bedrosian. He's no longer available. And we'll figure out what Haney did after the inning is over, because the runner on third is his responsibility. 2 outs, infield back to normal depth against Kane. 4-6 is a walk. So Bedrosian walks Kane. Keeps the inning going. Runners at the corners for Jesus Aguilar. 3-11. Ground ball to third. That's going to end the inning and get the Angels out of trouble. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. And we'll figure out the totals here on Haney. He goes 6 2/3. And he will get a no decision out of this. 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. And it only translated to 2 runs, which were both off the home run. I don't think he walked anybody. He walked Arcia, so only 1 walk. So that really, counteracted the 8 hits, but only 1 walk kept the base runners down. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. So there's your final line. I'm not going to erase the 612 because that was his injury rating I wrote in there. And now Bedrosian, let me check his injury rating. Bedrosian is a 0, so he cannot be hurt. So we don't have to worry about that. And we put the 0 up here on the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, Chacin is done. I believe he's going to be done for the... Well, let's see. Let's see how he's going to do. First of all, before I say that, he's got Cozart, Kinsler, and Simmons due up. And he's only given up 1. He's only got 1 notch against him. So they're going to go ahead and let him pitch to Cozart. But the bullpen is ready. They got a righty and a lefty. They got Josh Hader and they got Matt Albers, both loosening. Lefty and a righty, depending on the situation. So here's Cozart. 6-9, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet, so it is a strikeout. Here's Ian Kinsler. 6-10. It's a fly ball to center field, out number 2. So they may be able to get 7 innings out of Chacin. Here's Simmons. 3-6. He's going to ground to short, so they will get 7 innings out of Chacin. So that will be it for Chacin. 7 innings pitched. And here all zips here. So actually the hits, he's given up 6 hits, 2 runs. Check walks and strikeouts. 2 walks, 3 walks. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All right, so that's the final line on Chacin. And with Trout and Pujols coming up next, Matt Albers will be the new pitcher to pitch in the 8th inning for the Brew Crew. So we will have Matt Albers coming in. We'll scratch him off. Now Cam Bedrosian back out. Facing Domingo Santana. But remember, he was in there because of the lefty, so they're going to go ahead and pull Santana, even though he has a home run in this game. They're going to take him out, and the new DH is going to be Eric Thames, or Eric Thames. Thames, I guess that's how it's pronounced. So Thames is going, or Thames. I should have researched and figured out how to pronounce that name. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I think it's Thames, but I obviously could be wrong. All right, so he's in there to pinch hit. He will stay in the game to DH against Bedrosian. Get a 2-5 against a right-hander, and he struck him out. One away, and that will bring up Hernan Perez, but he will not bat. It'll be Travis Shaw. Now, if the right-hander's in there, they're going to bring in Travis Shaw, and he, of course, will stay in the game to play third base. And we need to put his defensive numbers in there. Shaw will be a 2E17. All right, so here we go. Travis Shaw. See what he can do. 1-9. He's going to fly to center. 2 down. So both pinch hitters fail. Here's Manny Pena. 1-7. He grounds to short, and that's the end of the inning. It's probably all for Cam Bedrosian, as he faces 5 batters, goes an inning and a third. All he gives up is a walk and a strike. He gets a strikeout and a walk. No hits allowed, no runs allowed. So nice outing there for Bedrosian. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2, with Matt Albers taking over for Chassin. So Matt Albers, who was 3-3 with a 7.34 ERA, not very good. But they'd also have Hader in the bullpen as well, so we'll see how that works out. Mike Trout going to lead things off for the Angels, so might be tough sledding here for Albers. We'll see. And by looking at, if you look at a picture of Matt Albers or a video of Matt Albers, probably not a stretch to say he is Fat Albers. Trout, 3-4, that's a leadoff walk. He's an ace stealer, but again, you got a -3 catcher behind the plate. So with an ace stealer, he starts out with a 15, but then the -3 plus -2 for being out, it's a 1-10, so it's a 50-50 shot for Trout. And you know what? He's going to try it. 1-10, he'll make it. And he's caught stealing, so they tried it and it did not work. Can't blame him for being aggressive, though, because Pujols hits into a lot of double plays. 1-5, that's a foul out to third, handled by Shaw. 2 down. And it's up to Cole Calhoun. 4-9, struck him out. So Matt Albers does the job in his 1 inning of work. A walk and a strikeout, nothing else, as they have no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. So we go to the 9th, still tied at 2, and we'll see if it goes extras or whether somebody's going to be able to claim victory here in the 9th. And the Angels will need a new pitcher, as Cam Bedrosian is done. And with Orlando Arcia coming to the plate, VR and Braun. Let's see who the Angels will go to. They will go to Blake Parker. Blake Parker, kind of like their closer. 2-1 with 3.26 ERA and 14 saves, but in the top of the 9th of a tie game, save situation is no longer valid. So you might as well use your best. All right, here is Arcia stepping to the plate. 2-9 for Arcia. Ooh, look at this. Arcia may put a run on the board right away. 1-12 is a homer. And it is a home run. There's no rob in this advanced game. There's no robbing home runs or anything. That's just a home run. And actually, I don't think you would rob home runs anyway because it's not an out chance. It's the other alternative is a double chance. So, home run, and it's the 3rd home run of the game for the Brewers. All 3 runs have been off of solo shots. So now Josh, actually, Corey Knable is loosening in the Brewer bullpen. He is their closer. So he'll be coming in the bottom of the ninth. Right now, here's VR, 6-8 Parker, 6-8 against a switch hitter batting left is a fly to left. One away. So the Brew Crew down 2-0 and fought back to take a 3-2 lead. Here's Braun, he's singled and tripled, 111. The ground to Pujols. We're out number 2. Brings up Christian Yelich. 6-10 against Blake Parker. And that might be an error. That might be an injury check. So we'll check on him. Blake Parker. His injury is a 1, so that has to be a 6-12. So no injury there. So 6-10 against a lefty is a ground ball third base X. That's Cozart. Cozart's a 3. That's an 11, which means we're doing an error check on Cozart. He's an E15, and that's a 6. So an E15 and a 6 is a 1 base error. So it is a 1 base error on Cozart. Second error of the game for the Angels. As Cole Calhoun made the other one. So it keeps the inning going for Lorenzo Cain. 2-9 for Cain. He'll fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But the home run for Arcia, number 9 hitter Arcia, does the job. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. So Parker stands to be the loser. 1 inning, gave up that home run. No walks, no strikeouts, but he has definitely a chance to take the L. As we go to the bottom of the ninth, and it'll be Justin Upton. To lead off, it'll be Upton, Ohtani, and Maldonado, scheduled hitters. And it'll be Corey Knable for the Brew Crew. Corey Knable, 4-3, 3.58, 16 saves. So Corey Knable will be in. And we'll look at the Angels bench. And they very well may use Valbuena to pinch it from Maldonado when the time comes. But right now, it is Justin Upton to lead things off. 5-9, and that's an in home run chance. Whoa, this might be a tie game real quick. 1-9 is a homer. 10-20 is a double. It's a 4, it's a home run. So Justin Upton has greeted Corey Knable with a home run, and we've got a tie ball game at 3. That gets Parker off the hook for sure. And now that brings up Ohtani, and I think they're going to keep Maldonado in the game for defense now, since the worst they can do is go extra innings. Here's Ohtani. Maybe he can walk it off. 2-7. Well, he did draw a walk. He didn't walk it off, but he did draw a walk. So he's aboard. And Maldonado is not a good bunter. Really need a bunt in this situation. They may have to go to a pinch hitter anyway because they need somebody who can bunt. Because the play here is to sacrifice. So let's see if they got any good bunters on their team. I've seen a lot of D bunters. Every card on the bench except for Fletcher is a C bunter. So you know what? No good options there. They're going to go ahead and let Maldonado swing away. 1-7. Ground ball second base C. So that will move the runner up just like a bunt. No sacrifice, but it's the same result. And now the winning run is at second base. And Cozart is going to be called back. And we're going to have Luis Valbuena pinch hit. And if it goes extra, he'll stay in the game to play third base. So Valbuena pinch hitting here in the ninth in a big spot against Knable. 3-4. Fly ball to left. That's out number 2. So 2 down. It's going to be up to Ian Kinsler. 6-11. Let's check Knable's injury. See if that 6-11 comes against his injury. Knable is a C3. So with a 3 rating, I believe that's going to be a 9 or a 10. I think it's a 10. Double check this. Yep, it's a 10. So 610 is his error rating. So 611 is not going to work. Will not be an error. So it's a 611, but it will be a double to right field. Look at that. 611 is a double to right. And that's going to end the ball game. It's a walk-off double for Kinsler. As scoring from second base is Ohtani. And the Angels walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. Knable will take the loss as he gives up 2 hits and 2 runs with a walk. No strikeouts. So he takes the loss. 0-1. 2 runs are in there for the Angels. And the winning pitcher was Blake Parker. He's 1-0, so winning pitcher was Parker, 1-0. Losing pitcher was Knable, 0-1. So for the Brewers, 3 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and they left on 6, 7. They left on looks like 10. And for the Angels, 8 hits, and they left on 6. So some missed opportunities for the Brewers by leaving on 10 base runners. So there's your final. The Angels win it in walk-off fashion on an Ian Kinsler walk-off double. As it is the Angels 4, Brewers 3, Blake Parker the winner, Corey Knable the loser. And that's it from Game 2 of the little 10-team league. At least that was a more exciting game than Game 1. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. And like I said, I'm not going to do a whole lot of these. I'll probably do just the opening day game so you can see all 10 teams in action. But my main focus going forward is going to end up being the 77 White Sox. But I did want to intermingle these with that just so you can see the team. So there it is, the Angels on top of the Brewers, literally, by the score of 4-3. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. We'll see you all down the road.